I wasn't supposed to be there. I wasn't supposed to walk past the receptionist. I wasn't supposed to open that door. But the second I did, there it was. A darkened room. Tiny chairs. Dozens of toddlers staring at a screen. And right there, larger than life, animated vegetables preaching to my kid, after I'd been lied to for months. That was the moment I stopped being that annoying parent. And started becoming their biggest problem. If you've ever had to put your kid in daycare, you already know the feeling. That tight knot in your chest when you hand them over. The forced smile. The quiet promise you make to yourself. I hope they're safe. I hope they're treated right. My wife and I didn't want daycare. But life doesn't care what you want. Jobs need hours. Bills need paying. So we did what millions of parents do and trusted strangers with the most important thing in our lives. Our son was still young. Barely old enough to explain his day. So when I picked him up one afternoon and asked the usual question. Hey buddy, what did you do today? I expected crayons. Nap time. Maybe blocks. Instead, he said something that made my stomach tighten. We watched a show with vegetables, Daddy. Vegetables. Talking vegetables. Something about the way he said it felt rehearsed. Like it wasn't just background noise. That night, I couldn't shake it. The next morning, I did what any reasonable parent would do. I asked the teacher. Casual. Calm. Polite. Hey, quick question, did the kids watch VeggieTales yesterday? She smiled. That tight, professional smile people use when they don't want to answer. Oh, we don't show anything inappropriate here. I paused. Okay, but did they watch VeggieTales? She didn't answer. She just repeated it. We don't show anything inappropriate. That was the first red flag. Because notice what she didn't say. She didn't say no. That afternoon, I asked my son again. Did you watch VeggieTales today? He nodded. Yeah. Simple. Honest. No agenda. So I emailed administration. I kept it professional. Measured. Their response? They assured me. VeggieTales was not approved media. It had never been shown. It would never be shown. Case closed, right? Except, the next week. Did you watch VeggieTales? Yep. My jaw tightened. I emailed again. This time, they suggested something else. Maybe your son is confused. Confused. Right. A toddler mixing up cartoon vegetables with, what exactly? That was the moment I realized something important. They weren't taking me seriously. See, this is where the story stops being about VeggieTales. This is about what happens when people in authority decide you're harmless. They smile. They placate. They lie, politely. And they assume you'll eventually get tired and go away. But every time I dropped my son off, I wondered. What else are they ignoring? What else are they lying about? So I stopped asking nicely. I asked my boss for permission to leave early. I walked into the daycare. The receptionist tried to stop me. Sir, you can't go back there. I didn't raise my voice. I didn't argue. I just kept walking. I opened the door. And there it was. Veggie. Tales. Bright colors. Cheerful voices. My kid sitting on the floor, eyes glued to the screen. The room went silent. I took out my phone. Click. That photo wasn't just proof. It was leverage. Administration wasn't happy I barged in. Fair enough, I got a warning. But suddenly, the tone changed. Now it wasn't. Maybe he's confused. Now it was. We'll take care of it. The teacher was told to remove all tapes. She was banned from bringing any media again. Problem solved. Or so I thought. The next week. Did you watch VeggieTales? No, Dad. Relief. Then the week after. Did you watch VeggieTales? Yep. I felt something snap. Not explode. Snap. Like a cable under too much tension. This time, I didn't go alone. I started talking to other parents. Carefully. Calmly. Turns out. I wasn't the only one. Some parents didn't want any media. Some didn't want religious content. Even Christian parents were annoyed. One mom said something that stuck with me. If my daughter has questions about religion, I want her asking me. Not a daycare teacher. That was it. This wasn't about vegetables. This was about boundaries. About consent. About being lied to repeatedly. Emails started flying. Meetings happened. Administration had a choice. Ignore it. Or admit they lost control. The resolution came quietly. No announcement. No apology. The teacher was fired. Just like that. And suddenly. Everyone felt weird. People avoided eye contact. Whispers followed me in hallways. She didn't mean any harm. It was just cartoons. You didn't have to push so hard. Even my wife sighed and said. You kinda went on a warpath. Maybe I did. But here's the thing no one wanted to say out loud. She didn't get fired for VeggieTales. She got fired for lying. For ignoring parents. For doing whatever she wanted. For thinking she'd never be held accountable. And when the system was forced to choose. They chose the parents. I didn't feel joy. I felt calm. Like a weight I'd been carrying finally lifted. No more wondering what else was happening behind closed doors. No more being brushed off. Just clarity. Justice doesn't always feel good. Sometimes it feels quiet. Uncomfortable. Necessary. Because when people ignore boundaries long enough, eventually, consequences show up. If this story made you uncomfortable, good. That's where the real conversations start. Hit like if you believe parents deserve honesty. Tell us in the comments, did I go too far, or was this justified? And don't forget to subscribe to Story X Daily for more real stories that make you think.